Hello YouTube. I was going to do a post about just thoughts on things that are going on, but my heart's not in it. I don't have the time to do the research or the desire, and there are people doing a much better job than I am about the crazy stuff going on. Um, so I'm going to do another post about Christmas. Um, the, Basically, I want to focus on ways that you can decorate for free or inexpensively, and gifts that also don't cost a lot. First of all, most of my decorating is done from nature. I'm fortunate enough that I live in a rural area, so I have an abundance of things available. But even if you live in the city, there are certainly places you can go, parks or what have you, and just pick up acorns or branches that look nice or leaves or what have you. Almost anything spray painted gold becomes a festive Christmas item. Everything from acorns to branches to whatever. They don't even have to be painted. Left natural, they look great. You just glue a little hanger on it, put it on your tree. Um, I even have in my dining room in one corner just some really large branches that are just natural. And I used to change it out from season to season, eggs for Easter and what have you. And now I just leave it decorated all the time with icicles and pine cones because I'm a little strange and that's me. And it puts something in that corner of the room that's needed. But it really looks quite nice. And if you can't afford a Christmas tree and you can't find a place to chop one down, honestly and truly, get some big long branches, stick them in a crock, weight it down with some rocks, and you'd be amazed once you get it decorated just how nice it looks. Now, um, an idea that I tried to find a link for, saw in a magazine, couldn't find it, so you'll just have to try to visualize it. They made a garland with nothing but um, paper tubes, like from paper towels or toilet paper or wrapping paper, and they just cut them into circles about an inch wide and glued yarn together with them. And then they cut circles out of old Christmas cards, or you could use construction paper or magazines. They made these discs, and they would put one on each side of the ribbon or yarn or whatever you're using and glue it so it'd be circles. And once the whole thing was put together, it really looked very nice, I thought. They even took some of the tubes and they'd take one circle and put it inside the other so that it sort of gave the illusion of a round um, ornament. And it was pretty cool. Um, Another thing you can find out in nature, if you can take a ride or you live in a rural area, are sumac cones. They're red and they're fuzzy and they look really neat. And if you get a bunch of them together, they really look fabulous. I was going to show you some, but the ones I have, because I keep stuff from in a big basket over my kitchen sink. I have a bunch of dry flowers and stuff, and they were really dusty, so they're really not worth showing. Um, Also, if you take silk flowers, maybe you have some silk flowers that have seen better days, and spray paint those gold or silver or red or whatever floats your boat. Or if you have dry flowers that look good, or um, I have some flowers that are made out of dried seed pods that they put together. And if you take a house plant and just stick one, two, three of those in the house plant, it makes it look festive all of a sudden. You can even put a bow on if you're into bows, and it kind of dresses up your house plant um, for the season. You can also, if some of your house plants are looking a little sparse, as mine are this time of year, I sometimes stick in either boxwood or evergreen around it to make it look a little fuller. You could also use live flowers and do the same thing and make a very inexpensive arrangement. You just take your house plant and down inside the pot you bury a small jar. It could be from prescription medicine or horseradish, or just a small jar, and you nestle that down into the soil, fill that with water, and then you can put your flowers in there. And that way you can take a small bouquet of flowers and really make a pretty impressive arrangement. Um, I have a couple of the ornaments that my children have made over the years. I couldn't find some of the nicer ones. I don't know why. I was going through the boxes today, and I don't want to dig any further than I already have. And I hope you can see these. Um, I think homemade ornaments are really charming, and my boys had more fun making these when they were kids. And they're all really simple, um, but we used to make them every year and give them to the grandparents, and we would keep them. Now I have to tell you, some of them are a little beat up at this point, but I will show you anyway. These, I just bought a whole bunch of pom-poms from a craft store once to use for different crafting projects. And all they did was roll these in glitter and then glue a pipe cleaner on top, and then they rolled it in glitter. So we did white ones, and we did red ones, and then one year, this is just yarn, glue, wax paper, and glitter. And they sort of did a freeform snowflake. This one's really beat up, so it's hard to tell. But it really looks kind of pretty on the tree. The wax paper has sort of a translucence to it, and it's all sparkly. And of course, we love the sparkles, right? This is one of my favorites, although this particular one is not one of my favorites. Still has tinsel on it. We bought styrofoam balls, again from the craft store, and toothpicks. And they simply stuck toothpicks into the styrofoam ball, painted them, and while they were still wet, sprinkled them with, again, glitter. Now I liked the ones better where they stuck the toothpicks all around the entire styrofoam ball. This one just goes around the edges. Boy, I can't figure out these cameras. But those are really pretty hanging from the tree also. Now, these are really simple too, but some of the natural ones we made, these are pine cones that the boys collected, and we just painted them gold. We didn't put any glitter on these. And then we glued this little string on top, and we have a ton of those. One of my favorites that we did a few years ago is we grew an okra plant because I love the flowers. I don't care for okra as a vegetable, but they're easy to grow in my area. And they make these beautiful pods. So we took the pods, they almost look like icicles, and we painted them gold. And then we glued these little earring bindings on top that, again, we got from the craft store. I don't know how to give you a good view of that. And it has a little ring on top, there we go, to hang your hook from. Now, those of you who are more artistic than me, I've seen people turn these into Santas, with the little top, the ochre top, being his hat, and then they do a little face, and all this becomes his beard. And they really look great. I'm not that artistic, so we painted them gold. And again, if you get a bunch of these hanging on the tree, they really look great. They look like icicles. You could paint them silver, and you could roll them in glitter if you wanted. You know, it's up to you. But these things are great. And I guess if we ever have to, the seeds are still inside, so we can grow them. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, rose hips are great because they're red and they're beautiful. And you can find wild rose hips, or I can, around here.